We live in our bodies our entire life, yet we could spend our entire lives feeling disconnected and resentful to them. Living in our body with love is a practice and a way of living that we can learn. And in this video, I'll be sharing the practices and the little rituals that help me build a loving relationship with my body and really feel good within myself. But first, I want us to recognize that our relationships to our bodies are often built and tainted by the societal programming that tells us to base our worth off of how well we can mirror some boring beauty standard. And that often leads us to having very superficial relationships with our body. To deepen and heal the connection that we have with ourselves, we gotta create a safe and a sacred space within our bodies instead of looking at them as something to just judge. Our bodies are these beautiful vessels of life that allow us to experience, that allow us to feel, to touch, to taste, to hear, to see, to smell. We can heal by coming back to these senses and giving ourselves positive physical experiences, ground in them, savor them, and appreciate them. We can do this with different types of self-care. Maybe that's taking a nice shower and really being present in that. Maybe that's going for a walk and hearing the birds and feeling the sun on your skin and the wind, and allowing yourself to really appreciate and savor the moment. You can indulge in a nice piece of chocolate and really just allow yourself to enjoy that. You can put on some nice lotion and give yourself a massage, feeling your skin and allowing yourself to reconnect to your body. In doing that, you create a pleasurable, safe, and sacred space in your body. You teach yourself that you are worthy of pleasure, that you are worthy of positive experiences. You get to care for and enjoy your body beyond how it looks, but for how it allows you to experience life. It's so important that we learn to appreciate that, which brings me to my next practice, which is gratitude. I used to look in the mirror and I'd see all the things I had to fix, all the things to criticize, instead of how magnificent my body is. I think of this TikTok audio that I heard about every day I get to wake up, I get to walk, I get to breathe, and I'm worried about the pimple on my face. Like literally, we worry about the stupidest, most minute things, these tiny little things that we're, told are flaws, whatever, the frizz, the pimples, the fat, the whatever, and literally it doesn't matter. Look at how you're able to breathe right now, how you can see this and hear this, how you can walk, you can run, you can experience everything, and your body is working all the time without you having to really even think about it or do anything. Do we tell ourselves what a blessing that is? But we have to, for real. Stop feeding into that idea that you're flawed and you're broken. Look at yourself, see your body, and tell yourself, thank you. I am so grateful that I am healthy. I am so grateful that I am standing. I am so grateful for my body for taking care of me. I am so grateful for my body being strong. I can speak. My body, it absorbs food, and I am nourished, and I am fed, and I am taken care of. You can even thank specific parts of your body. In the shower especially, whatever, when you are looking at your body, when you are maybe moisturizing and touching parts of your body, right? I put my hands on my stomach and I tell my stomach, thank you for absorbing my food and for keeping me nourished, for keeping me healthy. Thank you to my legs for allowing me to move, for being strong. Gratitude is one of the highest frequency emotions, right? And we really get to change the frequency, change the way that we feel in our bodies, and really raise that when we step into gratitude. I think that gratitude also helps us zoom out and see the bigger picture. These tiny little imperfections, they don't really matter. They really don't. At the end of the day, like, no one cares. At the end of your life, you're gonna look back and your biggest wish is not gonna be, damn, I wish I had clear skin. Damn, I wish my hair was smoother. Damn, I wish I was a couple pounds lighter. At the end of the day, it's gonna be, damn, like, I wish that I lived more. I wish I was more confident. I wish that I enjoyed the moment more. So we gotta zoom out of that magnifying glass, flaw-seeking thinking. You know what I'm saying? Speak kindly to yourself. Talk nice. We gotta be speaking words of positive affirmation to ourselves all the time. Like, it is our full-time job. You feel me? Our internal thoughts, it really sets the stage for our life, which is why it is so important that we build positive beliefs within ourselves. And the way that we feel towards ourselves is very heavily built by the way that we talk to ourselves, the way that we think about ourselves. And those feelings are very much within our control. Often we have a basis of self-image which is built by our upbringing. A lot of us are kind of raised in this self-hating propaganda, and we don't even realize where it comes from, but we absorb this cultural self-hating self-talk, and we're told all the time that there's something wrong with us, based on what we see off social media, magazines, whatever. And it leads to this constant internal battle, but we're never meant to be at war with ourselves in this way. There's nothing natural about all of these insecurities. I don't want to get too off track here because I made a whole nother video about how insecurity is man-made and the systems at play, but the main point is that we get to rewrite the narrative. We get to rewrite that self-talk. We get to rewrite the way that we feel about ourselves. There's beauty in everything. And when we speak to ourselves a certain way, we will start to see ourselves as beautiful and recognize how beautiful we actually are. When you see yourself, tell yourself how beautiful you are. Tell yourself that you are worthy, that you are enough, that you are divine exactly how you are. Even if you don't believe it at first, when you continue repeating it, when you continue telling yourself these things, you literally rewrite your subconscious, you rewrite the way you think, you rewrite the way that you feel about yourself until it feels true. Until when you look in the mirror, you're not seeing every single flaw, you're seeing a beautiful person looking back at you. I really did not have a healthy way of looking at myself in the past. And when I started doing affirmations, it was hard, With these affirmations, it'll feel sometimes like there's this disconnect, right? Like you're saying this, but there's that resistance in you that's like, that's not true. Until, the more you feed these positive new beliefs, they outweigh those old beliefs, and it transforms your mind, it transforms the way you view yourself, and in turn the way that you experience life. And that is such a powerful thing. When you rewrite your internal truth, you change the way that you live. You get to feel safe within yourself, you get to feel seen, and you get to feel loved. But it really is a practice. So every day when you look in the mirror, tell yourself you're enough. When those negative thoughts come up, because at the beginning they probably will. Oh, I'm beautiful. No, you're not, bitch. Look at that. No, you're not. I am beautiful. I am enough. When we have negative thoughts, we gotta reverse them and counter them with the positive. Damn, I'm so bloated. I am beautiful as I am. I am allowed to take up space, because that's a big one. Why do we feel like we have to change ourselves and shrink ourselves? Because women have been conditioned that we must keep ourselves small. Anyways, it's especially important that we do this on days when we don't feel pretty, on days when we don't have makeup on, our hair's a little messy, we're in our sweatpants, whatever, and we don't fit that image of what we think we should look like. It's so important that we show up with that unconditional love, that unconditional self-validation that you are enough. I believe it's also incredibly important that we learn to appreciate and embrace our uniqueness. Society tries to sell us this idea that beauty is a one-size product. But in reality, beauty comes in so many forms, and so many colors and shapes and sizes and expressions, like nature. Imagine if every flower looked the exact same. How boring, how lame would that be? We are all meant to look different, we're all meant to be different, we all got different things about us that make us beautiful. And a huge part of healing is recognizing that and accepting that. You are not meant to look like everybody else. I had to learn that my body is not meant to look like someone else's body. My body is meant to look like my body. And even the healthiest version of that body still won't look like somebody else's. The most beautiful version of you will still be different than the most beautiful version of someone else. And that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. Even if one type of look is what's trending at the moment, beauty standards are always changing. They're always cycling. Every culture got their own definition of beauty. And so why waste your life? Why waste your energy wishing that you looked like someone else's type of beauty when you could be embracing your own? This really was a huge pivotal moment for me when I realized that the most beautiful version of myself the happiest version of myself is the one that embraced and accepted my natural features instead of trying to force myself into something I was never meant to be. Because every body is meant to be different and will always be the most radiant, the most beautiful when we are taking care of ourselves, when we are nourishing ourselves and loving ourselves and embracing ourselves for who we are, for how we look, for the body that we're in, and not trying to make it something it was never meant to be. That brings me right to the next practice, the next shift of moving your body and taking care of your body as an act of love and not punishment. Going to the gym, working out, doing yoga, eating good, all of that is amazing. All of that is great for you as long as it is coming from a place of love for your body. We want to always make sure that it's coming from a place of, wow, I love myself so much that I want to be the healthiest version of myself, and never, damn, there's something wrong with me, I need to change it, I need to reshape it, I need to fix this, what's wrong with me? No. See, that mindset behind it is everything. And the mindset will really affect how the movement, how the methods feel. However we're eating, it should feel nourishing. It should feel rewarding. The way that we decide to work out, it should feel good for us. It should be a process that we enjoy. It's not going to be the same for everybody. If you're trying to build a healthy lifestyle, then it has to feel sustainable. It has to feel good for you. So maybe that's not going to be running on the treadmill every day. Maybe that's going to be doing strength training. Maybe that's not going to be strength training. Maybe that's going to be Pilates. Maybe that's not going to be Pilates. Maybe that's going on walks for you and doing yoga, or maybe it's a combination. Maybe it can't be 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Maybe it can be 4 times a week. Whatever you're doing, you got to be checking in with yourself and making sure it's from a place of love, and that you're working with yourself and not against yourself. What's really key to making sure that we're doing it in a healthy way, in a balanced way that is healing our bodies instead of hurting it, is by listening to our bodies. Our bodies hold so much wisdom, and they will tell us things before our minds are ready to process them. Hustle culture tells us to always be going, pushing. That, resting is lazy, that we gotta be waking up at 5 a.m., filling our day with the to-do list higher than our heads. That we should ignore our body, that dedication and discipline is never taking a moment to slow down. To a certain degree, it's good to push ourselves beyond our comfort zone, but it's so important that we listen to our own signals. If your body's saying, I'm so tired, I don't want to work out, something's hurting, something doesn't feel right, it's usually for good reason. Maybe you need more sleep, maybe it's hormones, maybe you'd actually benefit more by doing some yoga or going for a walk, or even just taking a nap. Your body is a deeply intelligent system, and it knows what it needs. I've realized that my body will really tell me what it needs nutrient-wise. Like sometimes I'll be craving certain foods and I don't know why, but I'll look it up, like the benefits of the food, and that's exactly what I need. When I'm sick and I look it up, I'm like, oh, it's perfect for me. Or around different phases of my cycle, I'll crave like sweet potatoes, which are really good for your luteal phase, or I'll crave chocolate, which I don't know, that is like for my period, something, whatever, but the body knows what it needs. Or I'll be craving certain like walnuts or just different things, and it's a beautiful thing when you start to listen to your body. It communicates with you even more, and you create a deep sense of trust and of safety in your body, and that is deeply healing. But all these practices, gratitude, affirmation, mindfulness and sensations, movement, listening to your body, these are all ways to deepen the connection that we have with our bodies. And like any relationship, it grows the more we show up with that attention, with that care, with that love, with that openness and attentiveness. And by showing up for ourselves consistently, we really get to build this beautiful space within ourselves that is sacred, that is safe, that feels good to come home to. I hope that you gained something from this video, and if you did, I would love if you left a like, a comment, and if you made sure to hit that subscribe button, so I will see you in the next video. Bye!